Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston and it's great to have you with me for the weekly episode of the I Ching Cafe this week for the 30th of August as we round out August 2021 and hastily make our way into September 2021. So last week it was all about finding our freedom inside the box, inside constraints, inside things that are limits, finding ways to put limits on ourselves that were not too harsh, that were natural, and finding ways of putting in place healthy boundaries just to create some space, some inner space as we worked through the week. So what were the limits that you were exposed to, that you put in place, the boundaries you managed so that you could be more productive, more focused in this past week? Right, so let's have a look at this week, the 30th of August 2021. Our first hexagram for this week is hexagram 61, Centered Truth. Now, this hexagram, if you look at the structure, we've had this many times before, you'll see in the center of the hexagram is a little kind of empty space. That is called the heart, right? So the heart or the center of this hexagram is open and willing to hear and understand truth, or understand truth in a new way, or expand our vision of truth. And so this hexagram is all about getting to the truth of something, right? Getting to the heart of something, where our insides and our outsides are lined up. We are congruent. We are true to who we are. We are true to what we're looking to do. We are true to what's really important in our life at this time. So this week, we are being called to focus on what is really true. Now, there has never been a time in my short little life where the focus and the obsession around truth and the arguments about what is true and what is not true has become the dominant theme of our development. So this hexagram, if we had to kind of say, what is a big human development challenge we are going through right now? It's getting to the bottom of what is true. What is fake news? What is not? What is true for us? What's a personal belief that we call truth versus a universal belief that we are all bound to? And working through this whole process that we're in of trying to separate and sift and sort what is true for us, our personal belief, versus what is true for others, and having space for everyone to just get along and be okay that we are all different facets of the same gem. We all have different aspects of truth we bring to the party. And the only way that I can perhaps talk about this topic, because it is about your own truth, is talk about something that I used to help me. And for me, I always have this view that wherever I get too fixated on something is black and white, this is just what it is, okay? This is clear, this is the issue, this is the problem, this is the answer. It's absolutely clear. And I have this kind of mechanism I put in place to say, whenever I'm thinking that, say, stop. Okay, it's probably clear to me because it's not as simple as it seems. Or I'm looking at it through the lens of my own personal beliefs. Or I'm looking at it through the filters of what I want it to be as opposed to what it is. And so whenever I have that black and white view on something, I say, actually, wait a minute, things are always gray, okay? Things are always more complex and nuanced and interlaced and layered if we could look at the situation from a much bigger perspective. And then what I do is I take a few steps back and say, there's probably a whole lot of facets to the situation that are all true. And I have chosen to zoom in on one particular facet because my mind is wanting to oversimplify things, to make them simple so I don't have to think. I don't have to deal with complexity. I don't have to deal with nuance. I can just say, it's black and white. This is what it is. End of story. So that's for me a mechanism that I put in place to counteract my own black and white thinking that I've had to deal with over the years. And so that might help you, that wherever you're feeling, this is the truth, and there's nothing that you can say that will change my mind. There's nothing else that I can see in the situation. It's black and white. It's obvious. Usually that's the place where we have gone into oversimplification because we want to not have to work hard to hold lots of different contradicting ideas in our minds at the same time. We struggle with that, and that, I think, is one of the things that this current situation we're all in together in this world right now is what we are learning to do differently. So hopefully that helps you as a tool. So this week it is about truth. Be prepared, be open to suddenly have an idea, have an insight into something, to see something in a new way that you have never seen before. I've experienced this before where it's like hot knife through butter. Something just suddenly comes and you suddenly realize something that just was not in your vision. And so the I Ching is asking us this week is to put in the effort of being in an open heart, or open up the heart to seeing things as they really are, to get to the heart of it, to get to what's really, really true underneath all the noise. And to commit to being open, see that little open space in the center of the hexagram, to being open to that. And of course, being open to the idea that the way we are seeing a situation right now, be that in our personal life, a global issue, a work issue, an employee or employer issue, the way we're seeing it is probably just one little facet of truth. And our task is to broaden our perspective and see things in a new way. And when we are able to do that, flow can come, energy can come, movement and steps forward into where we need to go next can come. So this week we only have one changing line in the first position, and this changing line talks about needing just to take a moment. Okay, remember this is all about truth and seeing the truth, whatever that means for you. Taking a moment and getting clear on what it is that you really want to do. What is it in a particular situation this week that is coming across your dashboard for attention, or is a particular challenge you're dealing with right now? What is it that you really want in this situation? What are you wanting to achieve? What is your focus? What are your intentions? What is the real truth for you of what this means to you? And then act from that place. What the changing line is cautioning us against is to make decisions based on what we think other people want, what we think other people think is the right answer. So, we do like other people to make decisions for us, because then we don't have to take responsibility for the consequences of those decisions. And yet we still then will moan about the fact that we are disempowered. The human condition is complicated. So what we have to do this week, focus on going quiet, going inside to your heart area, and just getting in touch with what it is that you want. What's important to you? What's essential to you and your family, to you and your team right now? Connect to that and act from that, and put down the noise of all the things you think other people want you to do. Because at the end of the day, they are not going to take responsibility for your decisions. You might think they will, but at the end of the day, they are busy taking responsibility for their decisions, not yours. So you have to live with the consequences of what you decide. And if you make decisions and take actions based on what makes other people happy, how does that end well? How does it ever go to a good place for anybody? It doesn't. Okay, so that is our changing line. And our outcome hexagram for this week is hexagram 59, dispersing. And I really think that this hexagram fits together so well with 61, centered truth, because this is the hexagram of the warm wind gently thawing the icebergs. Okay, not climate change, positive thaw. Okay, so when we think about this hexagram, we think about the slow melting away of locked energy. Okay, so think about the difference in molecules between ice, which are rigid and packed in shapes and structures, and water, where the molecules flow happily around each other. And so this week we are being asked to pay attention to this thaw, to realize that there are things that have been locked that are starting to release, are starting to flow, are starting to uncover. Things that were out of reach before become easier to deal with. Locked emotions, locked issues, things that were frozen up start to thaw and gently disperse. Okay, this is not an explosion energy. This is a gentle dispersing of things that were locked up and trapped. And maybe this is even your talents or your abilities or being able to move forward with something. If you felt blocked or locked on something before, now we can start to warm up and start moving forward because dispersing is coming to help us. So this week we have these 2 hexagrams, 61 centered truth and 59 dispersing, which when we see them together, when we see them as a story of this week, we see this encouragement and this focus on truth, on seeing something, on having the eureka, or suddenly seeing the way we need to go about a project, but at the same time that it is tied to things that are locked and frozen and have been blocked before, and this gentle thaw that comes to help us is a wonderful energy. And we need to lean in and to work with this dispersing and to allow the flow to release and to get to where it needs to go. So a beautiful energy. I love these 2 hexagrams. They come to release us from old thinking. New truth replaces old truth. And of course, what we have to do is we have to be willing to let go of our old beliefs, our old personal beliefs, our old truths, when we are confronted with new information. Okay, whatever that applies to in your personal life and your business life, what is the new truth that you are being confronted to? And when we have that truth, when we experience that hot knife through butter, it's like a ringing tone, a clarion call to wake us up, to get us to pay attention to what's really important, to see things in a new way, and to wake up and activate our frequency, tuning into that new frequency, tuning into the radio, the new station we need to listen to, the new tune we need to dance to, and getting us moving in the right direction. Wishing you many blessings as the ice disperses and melts and thaws and new things are revealed to you. Wonderful hidden gems come to the surface to show you new things. And I look forward to catching up with you again in our monthly overview for September, which is just around the corner. Thank you so much for being with me and on the socials and subscribing to this channel. And I look forward to seeing you soon.